Hey everyone, I'm Olga, and today we are going to play Mycafe recipes and stories. In this video, I want to answer some of your most popular questions to developers. The questions were actually asked in Mycafe recipes and stories Towns group, and I couldn't just skip it, so let's go. Now I'm going to answer your questions, guys. So the first question is from Cindy. How long does it take to develop a new level? Oh, well, this is actually a complicated question because if you are talking about a new story and maybe a new equipment, then this may last for several months because it takes some time to write a really good story, and we are actually looking for even more screenwriters. I think several months is a good estimate. Crystal Dungalans, oh hi! I think we should have more cafe expansion for us level 30 to have a crowded cafe. Wow, really? This is actually a nice question. We haven't thought about it previously because we have received several requests to player support about actually shrinking the cafe after players have expanded it, and so far 12 expansions are available, and for normal functioning it has always been enough. However, now with more events and more unique items and more furniture, maybe you guys really want to make more cafe expansions, so we really have to think about this. Is there a consideration of allowing Township members to help each other? Oh, this is a complicated question actually, guys, because actually the treasure trove is supposed to be helping you guys during the festivals and afterwards, and ability to help other Township members actually contradicts the concept of the treasure trove. This is why it is not in the nearest plan so far. Well, that's a lot of questions. Thank you very much, Samelin. Oh yeah, you have prepared, I know this. Okay, everything has a backstory. What made the developers come up with the game, aside from the miniature model in previous post? Has it always been named Mycafe Recipes and Stories since it was conceptualized? Actually, there was a game back in 2012 which was called Just Dream Organic Coffee, and we were actually developing this game for another publisher. It was actually made for PC and the graphics were like that. Since then, the game has been transformed into Mycafe Recipes and Stories and released in 2016, and from now on it has been developed even further. How many people are involved on the art, programming, storyline, etc.? Basically the whole team. Well, actually there are around 30 people working on the development of Mycafe. This actually includes screenwriters, game designers, programmers, artists of different levels like 2D artists, 3D artists, UX artists, the testing team and the server team, and there is also a group of people in marketing, player support and community, including myself, who are working to operate the game. There are around 15 people, I guess. However, Melsoft Games is a little bigger because we have other projects running, like Toy Defense, for example, and some other projects that are still waiting to be released. However, Mycafe is our main project so far. I understand that everything is a process, how it is done, and how long does it take to come up with the cafe items, like the milkshake machine, for example. I will probably show you a scheme about it. So we track the players' feedback and their suggestions about the game. Also, the game designer has his own vision, and also we have some business requirements which we have to fulfill to operate smoothly on different platforms. So out of those three factors, an idea is born, and when the idea is born, it then goes into concept, and we also are consulting the development team, which means servers, which means programmers, which means artists, which means UX testers, etc. Then when we realize that this is possible, we basically form it into something new. And the game designer definitely, if you're speaking about new recipes, he's also looking at the balance of all other recipes, at the progress of other players at certain levels, the festival tasks, at the game economics, etc. So this is all like a mind map full of bubbles. However, there is a process that is running smooth, and we also have the fit filter. For example, we have a lot of ideas, and only some of them are really dripping into the release because we actually consider most of the ideas that you guys suggest, but considering the game economics, considering the game balance, and considering some other things, we just take the ideas that actually fit into the game and gradually implement some other ideas if they do not spoil the game balance itself. How long does it take? Well, it really depends. There have been train tracks and the port in the town since I've started playing. Will they be useful in the future, and for what? Well, this is a really nice question. Well, as you know, guys, we really have the township landscape. We also have several township structures like treasure trove, treasury, hall of fame, the main house, etc. And we are thinking of adding some other township structures actually. Definitely the port and the railway may be a good base for them. May we know how exactly our townships meshed against each other? I have been mentioning it in a couple of my videos previously, however I will repeat it for you. Townships are matched by their progress in the previous festival and not by the number of members, because some sometimes, even if there are 20 members in the township, some of them may not play, some of them may be newbies, and 10 players, really experienced ones, can easily outbeat 20 members. So this is why only the progress in the previous festival is taken into account, and also the township are tossed within that balance as well, because we don't want the same township meet each other in the same regatta each festival. This is why you may see different number of cups for the previous festival for them. They are also matched in a way that sometimes you see stronger opponents, sometimes you see weaker opponents. However, in a range of several festivals, you can really show your progress. So your victory in one festival is good, but your victories in several festivals really means that you are worthy. How do you pick the tasks that townships must finish every week? Well, when we first started it, we had different leagues. We were experimenting with the tasks, and gradually we have come to the balance that we see right now. And each week the tasks are tuned a little bit, because our game designer is tracking carefully the percentage of completion of some tasks, the time when some tasks have been completed, and how many members have done it, and in which leagues. We also try adding some new tasks, removing some old tasks. If the tasks are always the same, then it will be easy and really boring for you. This is why we are tuning them every week, and we do it by those factors that I have mentioned to you already. Is there a possibility of us being able to visit a friend's cafe and to be able to like or love it? Or help out with the phone orders with a limit? These are more of suggestions. Yeah, there is not such a possibility right now as you see it right here, but we are actually thinking of comparing the designs of Café, and recently we have launched the contest, the design contest in social media, so that you can compare your cafes. And if this contest proves really popular, then we can think of adding some features like that in the game as well. I don't know about helping each other with the phone orders, because it also requires some complicated structure in terms of servers and programming. However, this is a really nice suggestion. What did the characters look like before their current versions, or who were the inspirations in making them? Concept art. You have probably seen how our characters have progressed during the time, and some of them were really freaky and a little bit ill. Like, just take a look at Anne, for example. This is how she used to look like. Usually we don't have real prototypes, but some of the characters really have. Maybe you can see some prototypes in Max or Margaret, or maybe Olivia, or even Lucas in terms of his personality features. And it is really nice when players recognize the famous people or characters. I think it adds to the fun from the game, and definitely when we create more characters, we will probably take some personality features. However, some of them are just designed because they are just considered that they should be in the game. How do the writers come up with the stories for every level? This is a good question. There is a brainstorming situation when our game designer and our screenwriters, they just gather in one room and they start discussing the story and the idea for the story, and then there is a synopsis, and then the game designer and the screenwriters start writing the basic plot of the story, and then they start adding jokes and they start proofreading to avoid some logical mistakes or some silly jokes maybe. And afterwards, when the story is finally polished, we localize it into different languages, and if we realize that in some language a joke just can't be localized, or it just loses all its sense, then we have to tweak it a little bit for different languages as well. So this is all a long process, but I hope that soon it will become a little bit faster. Why aren't there any children characters? This is really a funny question, guys, because there is a funny situation. You know, like humans have their center of balance, their gravity center, just a couple of fingers below their belly. So are our characters in the game, just their gravity center is in their toes. So when adult characters sit on a chair, their toes are on the ground, and their size is just enough to fit on the chair. But if we introduce some smaller children, their toes will stay on the ground. While they won't be able to reach a chair, they will just stay on the ground. They will just sit, you know, like really low. This is why we will have to remake the whole furniture. Or to shift that balance, it will be really complicated, because we have lived with that since the beginning of the game. So this is why we are thinking about kids, but you know, just in real life, planning kids is really a complicated step. Can the leaders be able to help other members, especially during the festival? Yes, this is why we have treasure trove. When can we put our coins and spice donations to other use? Since some of those towns have all opened their shelves. Yes, we are really thinking of developing more features for townships that have reached a higher level. I mean, opened all the shelves and have all the slots for the new people open. Other features will be introduced as well, where you can develop your township, and you will definitely need your resources for that. Is the staff at Melsoft as addicted to the game as we are? Oh, you bet! Is it possible to introduce a quest when we can get red gift except buying it? Oh, I would say that you can get the same spices in the treasure trove, because red gift is all about the top spices. And we also hold some contests in the social media that sometimes provide red gifts, and no plans were made about introducing the red gift into the game, because we have the VIP spice store and we have the spice booth, so those are the same spices, so probably not. Yeah, cookies and new recipes. Very nice, Susie, thank you very much. Yes, we are planning the new recipes as well. As I have said, as I have mentioned, they also require some tweaking to the balance and to the UX, I guess, because we already have a lot of recipes in the game. We don't ban this option, and we are actually considering some recipes to be introduced. Also, outside dining spaces would be nice. Characters are moving only inside the cafe, and if you have tables outside, this will require 3D art, this will require programming, etc. So it's a huge load of work for many teams. This would be really nice. I don't say no to it as well. However, I don't think that it will be implemented really soon. Actually, guys, this is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please put a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and let's play together. Don't forget to click the bell to get all the news about the game from my videos. I have also rewarded 5 best comments under my previous video, and the list of the winners is right here. Thank you so much. The pin gift will be sent to you in the game within 3 business days, I guess. If you also want a pin gift, please write your comment below this video on YouTube and ask some really good questions about the game. I will be really glad to answer them. Maybe I will make another FAQ on that. Don't forget to leave your player ID. This is a combination of numbers in the bottom right corner of the game settings, because the best questions will be appreciated. And see you next Friday. Till then, have fun in the game, and see you next time. Bye bye.